Oh, mad. Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live back in the flesh, live and direct. Man, I nearly forgot myself there, fam. We need to get back in the studio. All of this technology thing is a bit mad. Before we go any further, public service announcement. I don't even recall how long we've been doing this, innit? But we've been doing this for a while, innit? Like, we don't count episodes and that because we keep it true. And obviously, we do this content for you, man. So if you like this, make sure you're sending it to your friends. Even if you think your boys or your female friends or whatnot are watching this, send it to them again. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're hitting the notification links so you can get everything direct to you. And remember, we're doing loads of different stuff. So support that. Support the man them, innit? Like, the man them are trying out here. Like, it's hard to come and give you content after man them have taken L's. You get me, Cam? Like, it's a bit difficult to do that. So obviously, we're hearing
like Spurs all season, innit?
real talk. Like,
Welcome to my life.
Listen, man them have been getting beat up in notifications, and we still come week in, week out to drop content in it. So make sure you at least support them, and let's keep growing. But listen, first
no intros now.
No, we're about to go into that.
Okay.
We're gonna go into that.
We've got personal intros.
No. We're about to go into that. Wait, I'm about to go into that. As is accustomed to stoppage time now. Hold tight the 3-point collectors.
Hey, big ups.
Cool. And second of all, hold tight the qualifiers for finals and that.
You saying the finalists, yeah?
Yeah. And hold tight the participants.
Big up yourselves.
You get me? Everyone has to get a big up at some point, innit? Obviously, if you haven't clocked now, we're relating to Spurs' victory against top 6 rivals Leicester, because that's what you man are. You just kind of fight for that sort of thing. Chelsea beat United.
Best of the rest title.
Real talk. Chelsea finally beat United, and there's been other stuff that's going on. Hold tight Arsenal, hold tight Leeds. And
back in the big time.
Big man thing back in the big
16
time.
16 years?
16.
Big man.
Milner was 18.
Hey, for real.
34.
Milner and Leonard making their debuts sometimes.
Yeah.
Milner needs to go back, fam. One last time.
Hey, for real.
On some Vince Carter thing. One more time. One last time.
You know he's got the legs to do it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about this season anymore, man. He's been injured bare this season. You know, sometimes the legs can just go like that in an instant.
Nah, when man them return to their hometown clubs, they always get that.
What, they got new energy?
Yeah.
Man said the LeBron thing. Man said the career starts getting extended and that.
Hey, Milner and LeBron. That's not the same conversation, please.
Like, he's disrespecting.
Let's not do that again. Let's not do that again, please. Man, that's how you know you don't watch basketball, innit? Hey, stick to Chelsea.
That's hilarious.
Bro,
that's hilarious. But
thing.
listen, on Chelsea, obviously, it's an interesting one because a game's a game, innit? Like, at the end of the day, my whole aspect of football is you go into win every football match, innit? And I expect that from both teams. So I expect United put a team that they thought was, good enough to do the job. I expect they picked a team that they believed was good enough to extend their unbeaten run to 20 games. But at the end of the day, I believe Chelsea rose to the occasion, which I expected, and I expected a response from them. Considering Ole, if you look at Solskjaer's record, it's not just the 4 games. In terms of his last 5 or 6 games against Chelsea, he's unbeaten. I think it's 4 wins, 2 draws, something like that. He's actually unbeaten. So he has been treating Chelsea like how you'd expect Manchester United to treat a Bournemouth, in terms of, like, when we play them home or away, left or right, like, they're scared of us, innit? Hence where the quotation "big game bullies" came from. But we didn't see that. And you know what? Credit where it's due. You got to beat who's in front of you. I know there was 2 goalkeeper mistakes, and on that, I would like to point out goalkeeping mistakes ruin football matches. I have to be so honest with you. They actually take.
Let's talk about the hair though.
The life. No, we will, because we've had conversations, and I think it's only right now that we need to discuss it a bit further. But in terms of the game, I think goalkeeper decisions take out the life out of football, because if it's your centre back or something, yeah, like, okay, cool. But when it's your goalkeeper, it's like your one job is to kind of save the goal. Yeah. And then you've kind of fumbled it, and arguably you fumbled it twice. There's a question to say, should he have even been playing? Because the cup goalkeeper who does really well in cup competitions is a good backup goalkeeper, and he should have been playing that game for me personally, because he's played the last how many cup games anyway. And I don't think he makes them mistakes. Yeah, he might get packed in from range, because I've seen that happen a few times, but he doesn't make them mistakes. You guys had whatever injuries, you might be looking forward to whatever matches going on. But at the end of the day, Manchester United are a big football club, right? They come into football games wanting to win football games. And silverware is silverware. If you've got opportunity to win silverware, to go unbeaten in a cup run for 2 more games, you take that in it. But I mean, Chelsea turned up in the day, good result. And
who were the standouts for Chelsea for you today?
For me, I just think it was a well-rounded performance. Again, when you've got people like Giroud is gonna, he gets it. Giroud's at that stage of his career where he knows what he can and can't do. Therefore, you're always gonna get a level of something from him. Yeah. Even in the game before that, when he was bluffing his lines, he still got the goal. Textbook header. Like, he's that sort of player where he gives you what he can give you.
Yeah.
I noticed something today about why, no matter what Chelsea fans think about Willian, about his age and whatnot, what Willian gives you in the Chelsea team is he gives you effort. He's going to keep running. He's going to do defensive work. And as soon as
a new contract, would you give it?
In terms of Chelsea, yeah, I would love to give him like a year or 2 years, because I feel like we need experience in that change room. You can't just stockpile youth. It's like I said at the beginning, even if we're playing youth and experience have to balance. You can't just put a dozen youngsters in a club and tell them, listen, get top 4 season and whatnot. You need experienced pros. And we lack that. If you sell Jorginho, who've we got? We'll have Asby, no Pedro. There's not many elder men in there. You can see how the impact of Luiz, even though he's been worse at times, you've seen his impact at Arsenal because he's an elder statesman. So like, I would give Willian 2 years. I'd give him, usually only give 1, but I would give him 2 years. I wouldn't give him 3 though. But no, Willian stands out. Defense tried. I mean, I'm playing 3 at the back. I'm not going to say like I credit it, because that's what he has to do. When you've got poor centre-backs, you have to protect them. So playing 3 at the back is the way to go, especially against United, where these men have been slapping our centre-backs the last 3 games. And that's why, for me personally, I'm not going to come and start getting, you know what, yeah, listen, we beat them. These men have slapped us left, right and centre. We had to kind of come out here and say, you know what, let's break this spiritual bond. Yeah, you got to stand up for yourself, man. Every game for Chelsea in this period of the season is a cup final. Like, you win your next game, FA Cup, you win trophy. You win your next 2 games, you get you secure top 4. You might even finish 3rd. So,
and with you having said that now, like, where no kind of individual has stood out yet, do you think it was possibly a thing of where the scoreline probably flattered you lot then, and it was maybe a case of United were more worse, and that was the reason why you won the game rather than Chelsea's brilliance, if that makes sense?
I wouldn't say that, because I felt like we was always in control of the games. You get me? Like, United may have not been up to the occasion, but Chelsea you would say Chelsea were the team in control of the situation. I think,
because I feel like United rotated the squad. I think the last couple of games we've kind of seen they've started off kind of slow, and I think this was kind of like a culmination where you saw the same kind of Dan James starts. He's kind of running around
like his pack.
Yeah, and it kind of became a thing where they played a back 3, kind of countering Chelsea, where they've been kind of more on the front foot for the last couple of games, and it was just more Rashford hit it to him and kind of hope for the best. Like, it was kind of reverting back to the counter-attack and inshallah almost. And I feel like individually as well, I don't think any United player can kind of walk out there with credit, and that's including the subs who came on. I think DDG, I think, Cam, you probably got something to say there, but I think he just showed that he's just fallen off the pedestal even more. And Maguire, personally, I think that was arguably his worst game in the United shirt. And I think just the only thing I want to highlight on Maguire is because last week, obviously, you mentioned like with the clean sheets record, he's improved a lot and everything. But for me, the key thing I want to touch on is like, this is the difference between playing for a club like Leicester or Hull than to playing for Man United is no matter what, your performances every week are going to be overanalyzed and looked into on a bigger scale. And
step by step.
Yeah, no matter what. So even if you have like a small subpar game or whatever, it's going to get highlighted. And it's similar to the case of like Grealish, for example. Since the restart has been very poor. No one's mentioned anything. No one's, saying it's going to knock off his price. But when he comes and steps to a bigger team, it's going to be
a different conversation.
100%. And I feel like Maguire's going through that right now. But individually, I don't think United helped themselves today. I don't think Ollie definitely helped himself with the way he set up tactically.
Yeah. Do you know? one of United's issues is, right, it's when you're on an unbeaten streak and you've imposed yourself on teams, and a lot of that is heavily reliant on your starting 11.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to keep that. Man said he's chomping at the end, bro.
Bro, my ear is fucking hot. You know how much I've had headphones in my ear today. Flipping out. Nah, I'm not just rubbing it here.
No, but it sounds like a muscle.
The way that come across was like, hey, United is burning my head right now.
Oh, nah, bro.
United are frying your brain, fam. They're inside your brim.
I've been on these headphones all day, fam.
With United, when you're a lot of that form, it's fair to say that it's been heavily reliant on a specific way of football you've played with specific personnel. Cam, you've highlighted very well for the last maybe, when did this form start? January. That every time you make substitutions, you look like a totally different football club. And that's not something you can solve this side of the season. My rebuttal to that is, I feel like that 11 is strong enough to win your games. You've been unbeaten for 19. Even when you've not performed well, you've managed to get results. You essentially have 4 games left. I get people are tired, but I just feel like if you don't tank a semi-final, you get me? But I feel like you could have had more assertion on this game. And once you don't have that and the players are sort of looking around and saying, no, this isn't how it usually is, and then De Gea starts howlers, the game's sort of gone from there. I think the players sort of realised after the first howler, you know what, this isn't going to be what it is. And then, of course, you made your subs, Pogba come on and whatnot, but like, it's not that sort of game anymore. Like, the game is completely shift. You're not in a position where you're in control. You're trying to grab the game back now. So I think that is on Ollie's part. Again, that's where you have to say, you know what, okay, he is partly accountable for that. Similar way we've said Lampard's been accountable for things this season. Ollie has to look at himself and say, you know what, okay, cool. You've got to deliver elsewhere now. Because if you don't deliver on, is it Wednesday you're playing?
West Ham, innit?
Yeah, we have to start having a dialogue about, okay, you know what, this back end run, which is so important to you, you scuffed it up by trying to be almost too smart. Why not just play everything? And then, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go off and be like, you know what, yeah, Bonn United and whatnot. You man have spanked us 3 times. We've got one back on you. We're going to a final. You man are doing your thing. It is what it is. But what's your viewpoint on the game? Your viewpoint on De Gea? The social comments on Harry Maguire? Because there's a lot of mixed feeling now. I'm seeing United should get a centre back. United shouldn't get a centre back. What's your whole take on all of that stuff, bro?
First of all, fuck made you think. Fuck made you think 101. That's my first message. Fuck them.
Oh, shots fired.
So
today,
that's that. So, and congratulations to Chelsea for the win. I mean, congratulations to Chelsea, because Lampard's doing a good little job.
Hey, I'm dead.
Hey, Lampard's doing a good little job over there. So, shout out him. But anyway, let me get into this. In terms of the game, I understand why Ole made some changes. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I said, little things in Bournemouth, a little bit of things when we played against Bournemouth, you could see that there was a little bit of cracks in the team, the way we started the game. Then Southampton, we were totally off it. Then you play against Palace, and we were off it as well. VAR caught life on that. Lindelof should have gave away a penalty, because that was a penalty on Zaha. So we caught life on that, and then we end up getting our win. But that 11, if we had started with the same 11 today, I believe that would have been the same starting 11 for 7 games in a row. If you look at the or 6 games in a row, I think only Tottenham we didn't start with that 11.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, bro, in a normal season, starting the same team 5 times in a row is mad. Let alone COVID season where you're playing every 3 days. So, bro, the boys have been tired. So I understand why he made changes. But in terms of one thing I wouldn't have done is the tactical change he made, in terms of he should have kept it the same as what we've been playing. But then maybe, okay, we're going to change a bit of the personnel.
Yeah.
But it looked like these men didn't even know what was going on with that. With that formation. They're so used to being on this good run in that formation. He puts 5 at the back, and it looked totally out of sorts.
It almost like a shift in mindset and then reverting back in it.
Exactly, and
You go back to what you're used to, innit? Which is before the form.
Exactly. So we've been playing more on the front foot, more trying to be the ones that are possessing the ball. Then now we've gone back to trying to do this whole counter and whatever. We didn't even try and do that against Spurs. So that was a tactical mistake. So Ole's not getting away with that. Like in terms of what I said I was doing the match reaction with Ranks, is what I said is everything that is wrong with United got exposed today. Like any issue that United have got exposed today. So there's some losses where you could just be like, do you know what, that was unlucky or or whatever. But any little issue, and even if you get good players, even if you get better players in and around it, you're always going to say the same thing about certain players in our team. So I'll say,
what were the
for
issues?
example,
what are those issues that you?
So like Wan-Bissaka, for example.
Yeah, what he's
terrible football player. Yeah, no, just forget about his attacking. Terrible football player, as in like he can't play football that great. He can defend, but in terms of technical ability, he's very low on it. And Chelsea highlighted that. And shout out Lampard because he scored all over with that because they let Wan-Bissaka get the ball. As soon as Wan-Bissaka gets it, Mason Mount, Alonso, Kovacic, count this brother. He's going to lose the ball, and every single time it was happening. That's always going to be an issue for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka's never going to become technically sound. He's not. That's always a little issue. Another issue, De Gea has been a major issue all season. Highlighted again today by his absolute howler. Absolute howler. He's been a major issue. He's costing us. I've mentioned it many times. Bro, we've done a stoppage time episode about it, like 2, when the contract was happening, and after that, I mentioned that him being overrated. De Gea's overrated. He has been for about 2-3 years. Yeah, he had one.
You've been saying like what he's costing you the Champions League spots, and now he's cost you the FA Cup.
Brother, how many times?
If he plays, I wouldn't be surprised if he cost you that as well. I mean, is this now the summer that you want to see Dean Henderson officially take over? Like you've been in that camp for a while now, but is it more obvious now for all United fans to just?
Bro, I'm hoping because it's becoming a thing where I mentioned it. Like Man United have had Ben Foster, we've had Tim Howard, we've had Roy Carroll, we've had Barthez,
Kuszczak, wasn't it?
We've had Thomas Kuszczak. We've had that Lindegaard guy. We had that Lindegaard. We've had Romero. In terms of De Gea is actually dropping the worst keeping season I've ever seen at United, and it's a complete contrast to the best season I've ever seen at a United keeper. Way worse.
Used to do some flagrant stuff. Do you remember the goal when it went in and he scuffled it in and he tried to?
Yeah. But man, them big man thing. This guy is losing Man United too many games. He's lost us many points in the Premier League. Yeah, he's made the most errors out of any keeper in the Premier League. Yeah, and then now he's brought that into the FA Cup, and his mistakes are not things where it's like everyone's putting their man on him in the corner and you swinging in the corner and he's getting bullied. He's basically picking the ball up and throwing it in the back of the net. That's basically what he might as well be doing.
So why
he might as well be doing that at this point.
Goalkeeper not. I mean, like one thing that I realized that was highlighted in social commentary and everything was people were saying, "How do you expect the defense to have any confidence with this keeper behind them?" And my first thing is, well, what do you think Chelsea are going through? That's number one. But number two is, we've seen at points where like pockets of the season where it's 2 or 3 games where De Gea kind of consecutively drops howlers or bad performances. You've got this goalkeeper on the bench, right, who has been somewhat competent in cup games. He should have been starting today. That's the first thing.
He's the cup keeper. I didn't get that.
Why doesn't he start today, and why has he not got a more of a chance?
I'm gonna get more onto Ole. I just want to get these players out of the way. Do you know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
De Gea,
just quickly though, because I feel like I don't know what's gone wrong with him. I've never seen such a fall off, which is so mad, like so steep. Because with keepers as well, you usually expect them as they get older, when they get past 30, to actually be getting better and improving.
He's aging like milk.
And it's like, since I think the 2018 World Cup, I think, was the first kind of big cracks where you thought, what's going on here? And then since
I think it was before that, but that was
you only saw minor scale. That's the thing. This was on a big grander scale, and since then he's come back to United, and it's just been a slippery
You know
slope.
what?
Like,
I think
I think
it's a confidence thing.
no, I think it can't listen. It can't always be confidence because some of these things that he's doing is just horrible. Like, look, De Gea, he was, as you said, he was already kind of showing signs of being a little bit funny last season. United decided to go and give him and make him the highest paid player at the club. First of all, I don't know what club you can show me all clubs in the history of football that have a goalkeeper as their highest paid player. First of all, it's just disgraceful. And you're Manchester United, yeah?
yeah.
So then you got a goalkeeper as your highest paid. You got no one that's even challenging him. Not one person. He can make mistake after mistake after mistake.
Is
Not
that one of
challenging
the
him.
biggest mistakes since the club's made since Fergie's left?
Yeah, that's what I said though. But honestly, him getting a new contract to me is worse than even signing Alexis Sanchez, bro. You do not give your goalkeeper. You do not give your goalkeeper and make him the highest paid player at your football club. And while he was already showing signs of being funny, bro, he is declined so much, and it's something that, as I said, I already saw. I said, don't give him this contract. I was happy to let De Gea go at that point and just have Romero go. By this time, Dean Henderson wasn't even making the noise that he's making now. He got rid of his goalkeeping coach. I don't know if this is anything, but his goalkeeping coach, Emilino something, I can't remember his name. He came out just this week and said De Gea is a snake. He said De Gea is disloyal and a snake. When he was negotiating his contract, he was not making him aware. This Emilino guy had offers from Real Madrid, Barcelona, loads of clubs to go to, but he always said he wants to stay with De Gea. He's Jose Mourinho's guy. He stayed when Jose Mourinho left. He stayed because he loved De Gea. De Gea ended up doing some back-ended things. He walked out of Manchester United. Since then, De Gea has been worse and worse and worse and worse. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but De Gea is just absolutely. He's at this point. You can't even consider him as one of the best goalkeepers. No, you can't. If you're saying that, you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Do you
De
know what's
Gea
worrying
isn't even
about
better
him
than
as
Nick
well?
Pope and these men at Burnley, mate. He's not. I'm not. I'm being serious.
But do you know what's worrying about De Gea is, even if you look at any sort of, and it's interesting, we had this conversation in the group chat, when you look at any sort of player that was at world class and has fallen off, with some of them, you can still kind of see, you know what, there's something in you that can potentially, like, imagine a bad patch. That genuinely, if you look at De Gea now, like, I kind of feel bad watching him go, because I don't see, like, he will still pull off, like, the dramatic save. Like, that's his kind of
after the first goal, he did one.
Yeah. But like that's his textbook thing in terms of like
camera save.
I'll make it look a bit fancy. Yeah, he will still pull that off. But I remember when he came, it was the aerial threat that was his challenge. Then what happened was, do you remember that whole little stint about if he's not made a save for the whole game, if you pop it, he's going to concede? Do you remember there was that stint that he had that issue?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, why is this happening? Then he had that whole thing about when you man were playing like a mid-table team and he was getting bare action, so he was making loads of saves. As soon as that flips away from you again and he's not getting bare action, his old trait comes back again, and it's like, why is this happening? But
De Gea's just finished, and you may not need to get Dean Hendo in ASAP. You can't fumble that.
Who are the other players that you're talking about?
So then today, first and foremost as well, Man United fans, get the hell off Brandon Williams back. The guy's 19 years old. Just got his eye bust, made himself available, had a bad game just like everyone else. He's 19, come from the academy. This is his first season. It's a breakthrough season. Any United fans atting him must have an issue, bro. They must be jealous that he's a football player and you're not. Honestly, because that doesn't make sense to me. How can that be the one player that you make trend on Twitter? Brandon Williams. Now, are you guys crazy or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is why I don't say I don't represent this fan base, bro, honestly. But then Maguire, listen, I tweeted that the club doctors better come out. The club doctors better come out and say that he was concussed, mate. Because
this guy was looking for excuses.
That's the only thing that could possibly save him. Because, bro, that performance, that is one of the worst performances I've seen. But the thing is, and I'm being genuinely serious when I say I hope he was concussed, because after that headbang, he just turned
rattled.
Bro, we conceded 30 seconds after Bailly came off. That's a rattle out. So your head is already frazzled. You concede. And then, bro, I'm not joking. There was times he was chasing shadows.
Did you
he
see at the
wasn't
end?
concentrating on the football match.
Did you see at the end when he started doing pirouettes and circles around and switched and gave the ball away?
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
he was
Someone
dribbling.
said,
So rattled.
He was dribbling
playing.
and ended up running into Matic,
Yeah.
pushing his own player out the way.
Someone said
dribble.
he was playing like he just received a flashbang, and I swear I haven't laughed so much, bro. Do you know how funny that is? Man said he was disorientated.
Bro,
Hey,
he
nah,
seemed
bro,
so out of
I
it.
swear, like, listen, you made a good point in terms of like the highlight of how much, but you see me, yeah. I don't put my not neck on the line, but I don't say somebody's a good player unless I have extensively watched them.
Yeah.
You see, how long I've been talking about Grealish, for example. I've been watching him from the Championship. I'm not going to be saying, oh, he's going to do. Bro, from Hull days, I've rated Maguire. So that's why I'm taking a bit longer to kind of be like, yo, he's done out here. But I'll give him till about December, see if he ends up adapting to Manchester United and stuff. As I've mentioned before, a lot of things happened where I think it's a lot on him coming to Man United, captain first season, a lot of money. But performances like that, you can't excuse.
No,
That's
100%.
absolutely. You're meant to be the captain of the football club. You're meant to you're meant to be the one that everyone looks at like, yo, we're playing dead, but my captain is rising. You were the one that's looking at people need to get around you and help him. And
Bro,
that is the big,
100%.
You know what he
And literally what you said there is perfect, because I agree with, like, coming in, he has had to take on a lot. Like, Man United is a way big club, taking on the armband, like being the big £85 million man. But this is the expectation that comes with playing with this club. Like, if you want to be the elite and seen as one of the best, these are the kind of moments that define you and make you. Like, like right now, this is kind of like a stain on during his first year or whatever. And
definitely,
should things carry on, it will be like, oh yeah, he choked at that semi-final where he got absolutely rattled. And I don't know. This is where I'm kind of struggling with to see, will he be able to cope with this? Because even with England, he's not like a international regular. He's only just got thrust in just before the World Cup. He signed for a couple games, and it's like, oh yeah, he's our guy now. So I don't know if too much has been given to Maguire too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
And it's kind of like time will tell. But
yeah, my thing is that's a good point. My thing, sorry, mate. My thing is with Maguire as well is that, as you mentioned, like in terms of there's a lot coming onto him. That's definitely true. But I don't want to make excuses or anything for him, right?
Yeah.
But he's played every single minute of the Premier League season this year. He's played every game since the lockdown. No rest, nothing. Goes at Wembley. They said that from January he's been playing with injections. Maguire is a bad athlete already, let alone being half injured and then playing through every COVID game, 90 minutes, every minute. He is one of the players that look like they're in the red zone. And that doesn't, bro, Maguire's slow enough already. He's moving slower than I've ever seen. Playing for Man United doesn't mean you run slower than you run at Leicester. That doesn't change anything. You might perform worse. You don't run different. Like, he literally, when I'm looking at him like, you look completely out of sorts, fam. Yeah, and I don't know if it's injuries or anything. I'm not making it because if they ain't come out and said he's injured, or
you can't go off it and say it yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. But my thing is, he's gonna listen. I keep talking about character with this Man United team, right? They're gonna have to show a lot of character, big up themselves. They showed a lot of character to respond from the Southampton game. Spurs gave us a massive favor today. Yeah, West Ham. If Maguire plays, I need to see a man of the match type of performance. I don't want to see Antonio running you around. Like, you're the captain of this club, and you're gonna have to really rise.
Example.
Yeah,
and then
go on.
Yeah, if you want to touch about Maguire quickly, because
what I was gonna say. Sorry, bro. What I was going to say about Maguire is there's a while ago, and that's mentioned the Phil Jones thing. And for me, it was because when Phil Jones came in, there was this high horse that he was put on. And it was kind of like, you know what? He does the bread and butter stuff. He can dribble a little bit. And as time went on, the deficiencies in his game became more apparent. And then it became apparent that he couldn't be this Manchester United centre-back. And one of the issues for me is the level of centre-back is very different now. Do you get where I'm coming from? I genuinely think someone like Maguire is good at what he does. But centre-backs now, you almost need people that complement each other perfectly to kind of counteract the deficiencies in their game. So, for instance, Maguire should be playing with someone that has the most legs in the world.
Yeah, that's the way it is now, isn't it?
The way Maguire plays is everyone knows that there's the likelihood that he might get caught stuck in the mud. So you need someone that's going to be able to recover for him. Lindelof isn't that guy. Lindelof, when you guys signed him, was the Iceman. He's cool on the ball. He can, he can move the ball forward. He's not the guy that's going to bust the gut to recover from Maguire.
But you know what
would be the ideal replacement. But honestly, he's got to be the most fragile, hard man I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Who's
you
that?
know what?
Bailly.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, Bailly would be great, but sometimes you have to call it where it is. You have to call it where it is. Like, I see a lot of United fans saying, listen, I can't wait for Bailly to get fit. Listen,
he's not
it's not going to happen. Like, you have to call the game as you see it. Like,
you see with the thing about with Maguire is that when he was at Leicester or Hull, obviously they would have been playing a little bit deeper than at Man United, right? So when Maguire, this is one thing that Maguire used to be really good at. When the team are playing a little bit deeper, he was very good at, not even that, he was very good at coming on the front foot, like so when you're on a low block, but he was good at stepping out and making them type of challenges.
The press centre back,
he is still trying to make them presses at the halfway line.
Like,
and when you get span, it's long. It's long.
This is a different club, and he needs to realize we're playing a higher line. But the reason why I thought, because I remember I used to have a little bit of concerns, like could he come to Man United and play on a higher line? But I saw with Brendan Rodgers when at the end of last season when Maguire was there, and he was doing it all right. So I was like, okay, he's going to come to Man United and he's playing with Evans in it, but Evans is just like Lindelof. It's just so I was just like, all right, cool. He's gonna be. I thought, he can do it, but it's looking like that's maybe the issue because Maguire is attracted to the ball too much, and if you're going to be attracted to the ball higher up the pitch, you've got to win it. You've got to win it, or you've got to have someone that's willing to recover you. You've got to, and he's struggling with that.
I know most Premier League forwards with a bit of mobility will take their chance of spinning it.
No, of course. But let me go on to, so in terms of, bro, what my thoughts are on Daniel James. I'm not even going to go into it, not to disrespect him, but because today he couldn't even do anything. Bro, him, Rashford, they Martial, Igalo came on, they might as well just been mannequins today. You know what I mean? Like Rashford they were playing Rashford as if he's Ken Wayne Jones or something.
When they come on today as well.
No, for real, because the subs came on. And this is the problem with this is the problem with Ole, which I mentioned. But I always talk about it. Ole as a coach isn't great. So when you make these changes, Ole is not a good enough coach to make these average players perform above expectation.
Yeah,
that's what. Think about it. Before Bruno, who's a world-class talent, I'm not gonna say he's a world-class player, who's a world-class talent. Until he came, Man United were battling for top 10, bro.
Yeah.
So Ole doesn't improve the crap players.
No.
So when you get the Fred in, when you get the Daniel James in, and you get them type of man, nothing's gonna happen, bro. Because he can't coach well. He can't coach us to like be interchangeable like that. He's relying on a strong team. This is why I keep saying, 1 second, bro. Sorry. This is why I keep saying, I know United are gonna keep Ole. This is why I've stopped saying Ole out. There's no point. I was saying Ole out when I thought, it's coming. Remember, I used to say, I don't think he's going to be here by January. I know that's not coming. So now we need to back him and give him a good squad, because clearly he's not a great coach, and I've said it many times. But I feel like if he has some top players, he might be able to do something. And this is where the issue of squad depth comes in. This is where the issue of don't think Matic is the finished article, because you just seen the last 3 games he's stunk. Pogba is clearly tired, man. Pogba came off the bench and looked more tired than people that were playing full 90.
Yeah, for real.
He did, innit? And when you look at this is what I'm saying. We need a Sancho. Actually, let me not even name drop this. We need a right winger. We need a new centre mid to be coming off the bench, which I've been saying Jack Grealish or Sam Player. We need Declan. And now we need to put English core. We need to put centre back at the top of priority as well. So we need depth. And people keep saying, "Oh, coach." You can shout Ole out as much as you want. It's not happening. Just stop. It's not happening.
Some things you just can't be reality.
Exactly.
I will ask you one question.
Are the board going to back it? That's what I want to say. Are you going to back your brethren, fam?
I'll ask you one question. It's a nice segue into other topics. But the question I was going to ask is, do you worry about, because you mentioned coaching of players, but do you worry about Ole's managerial and ability to tactically influence and change the game. Because it's one thing to
Yeah,
coach
of course.
people, but it's another thing to be able to implement tactics to change
But
something.
the thing is, look, coaching doesn't necessarily only mean how much you're going to improve that football player. Like a football player is going to improve, not necessarily mean like that. Coaching is what you're talking about, the tactical now. So, I mean, are you going to be able to
I'm
tell the
talking
team?
more from terms of that. Okay, we're probably saying the same thing, but I'm saying from
Yeah.
like a managerial stance.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a situation where you're 2-0 down, can you manage? Can you get instructions to your player to call a player to orchestrate your team in a way that brings
Exactly.
your team
Yeah,
back into?
we're saying the same thing.
The way Ole it comes across to me, and the unbeaten one shows that is, I can make these players play the way that they feel is best for them. And if they do that, we can wipe any team off the planet. But when those players are tired or not available, what happens then? That is my worry from what I've seen in the run.
What Ole is going to need is, he's got his 11, for example.
Yeah.
He's got Pogba, he's got Bruno, whatever. He's going to need something where it's like, if Bruno comes off, he has someone of similar kind of quality, or just a bit below, that can come on and do that job. You cannot, in Ole's system, take Bruno out and put Fred and think that it's going to be the same. It's going to completely collapse from what he is trying to do. One thing about Ole is that, and you man know, so no one can try and say I'm changing my opinion or anything. You man know, I've said I think Ole is good enough to make Man United like top 3, kind of like, maybe we can be doing some little horse thing, but we're not going to win the league or anything. But next season, if we get into exactly next season, if we get into the Champions League, where you actually got to be tactical and you got to be smart, that's when Ole is going to get exposed, and that's when that's when Man United are going to be like, we might have to replace him or anything, because
I think
when we get away with it in the Premier champs,
and you lot start playing teams like Bayern and Real Madrid, and you start playing the real big dogs,
in-game situation starts changing.
Yeah,
start seeing
that's when the small differences get seen, and the tactical changes and the tweaks.
Because you can't copy.
We ain't gonna be no first seed.
Do you get me?
Like your quality, the quality you got now.
We ain't gonna be no first seed. We're gonna play against.
And the quality you got now will like push you through the games like Burnley and Southampton and things like that. But
when you're playing Real Madrid, it's quality versus quality. It's like you said, quarantine.
Bro, it's not even just quality over quality. It's tactical. You get that in the Champions League football.
No, what I'm saying is that the baseline, literally the baseline is like, if you're playing the Champions League team, like you're putting out your 11, they're putting out 11, but that's cool. Their 11 can probably play your ball better than you. So what can you do to affect that situation?
Yes,
that's when it gets techie.
But essentially, what you're saying is basically Ole tactically, you don't trust him kind of to change games. You actually, what he needs is quality coming off the bench, and that aligns with kind of what you're saying with the depth, where you don't need that quality and extra. And it's not only beneficial for the team, but also for the manager to get the best out of him.
Well, it's just like, listen, I'm not too sure if I've said it on Stoppage Time before, but I've likened it to, I don't think he's as good as Zidane, but I don't really know if Zidane, for example, I think Zidane's a great manager. Not even just that, because he's got quality players. But one thing that Zidane did this season is like, okay, I ain't got Hazard, he's been out, no Ronaldo, obviously, so I'm just going to make us built on defence. You might not like to watch it, but it's going to get me the job done. We scored like 10 penalties in a row. They were winning games off just penalties as well. So exactly. So he has found a way just to like get through it, whereas Ole hasn't done that yet. If the quality is not there, we've lost matches, fam. Like we were losing historic runs of losing. So Ole really has to dig into that bag of how am I going to get the best out of these? Because we're not going to do a squad overhaul. And just to wake everyone up, Man City are about to spend about 300 million. And bro, if this is what I mean, this is why
because KDB needs better players around him.
Bro, this is why I look at the board. This is why I look at the board, fam, because Man City are a much better team than us, and they're about to spend ridiculous money. Liverpool, they're looking at Thiago, maybe bring Coutinho. They're looking at how to improve. They just won the league by 20-something points. Chelsea they've already scratched the bag. Man United, listen, Woodward has to dig it. I'm hearing all these little kind of like, we'll see if we make champion. Nah, bro. Regardless, you guys are gonna have to spend. But one thing before we close on Man United, fans need to just calm down a little bit. Fans were going a bit over the top today, making it out like it's the end of the world. It's the first loss in 19 games. There's reasons for it. You suck it up. There's a bigger game on Wednesday. A bigger game on Wednesday. Man United, let me just remind you, you brought that picture into the group chat. I think it might have been you. Man United,
Even on
24
ninth.
games.
Yeah.
24 games. We were 21 goals behind Leicester. 21 goals behind Leicester on goal difference. And we were 8th place and 14 points behind Leicester. We are going into the game on Wednesday with a potential chance of going 3 points above Leicester with better goal difference. Please, Man United fans, calm down, bro. Man United fans in the world. There's been it's not what you expected. They've not overachieved, but you didn't expect this come turn January. You didn't expect this. So relax, Sam. That's it. United fans to relax. I'm seeing too much outrage during the mode. Yeah, just relax. Let's see what the players are going to do. If Man United get top 4, if Man United get top 4, it's a very good season. And then you've got the free reign of just, let's see what going on with the Europa. Let's try and win it. Who knows? We've got top 4 secured already. Let's go and win this competition. Next thing you know, you're looking at it. If Man United won the Europa and top 4, you're saying, "Oh my God, what a season!" So just relax, fam. Just relax.
If you won Europa, you're playing Champions League winner first game in next season.
But we'll score them winners.
Show the levels.
We'll score them winners.
Wow.
Hey, I remember when under Jose, we won the Europa, and then Real Madrid just schooled us. Oh, but Isco was dropping masterclass.
You think that was a schooling?
It was. I remember that.
When Chelsea got scored by Atletico, I swear I've never been so
Falcao,
stunned.
yeah.
Falcao.
I've never been so stunned in my life. I was like,
that was peak Falcao.
I was like, but why is he doing this, bro? This game is like a serious game, bro. Man was playing like some perfect. Yeah, man. We're saying Spurs. We're saying Harry Kane videos coming out. Fuad dropping content every week. Fuad's a happy Spurs fan. Happy guy.
Not even that.
Jose way.
Listen, for all the disrespect you man have been giving Kane, talk to me about the declines. 6 in the last 8 year, in a season where he's meant to be declining, we're talking 23 and 33 games. Is Harry Kane still declining? Is he?
Bro, you're excited, isn't it?
Is he still struggling to score in Jose's system?
You're jumping the gun, mate.
I'm not jumping the gun. I've just presented. I haven't even given you opinions yet.
Who's this director that first and foremost?
Huh?
Who's this
Both
director?
Of you, man. Both of you, man, have gone at Kane this season saying, "Yo, it's slowed down. The physicality and the injuries have taken over." And it has. I've admitted that.
So what are we discussing?
Nah. Because I told you, man, to relax with it. He's still 26. He's still got time. But you, man, were like, nah. You don't want it to run with agenda. But now we're seeing. Listen, and Leicester is good opposition. No one can tell me, it's just one game.
Who's playing at the back for Leicester?
Listen, that's their problem to deal with. Just because they ain't got Soyuncu. Did you see the mayor he had last game? He wouldn't have been any better.
Oh, with the Maguire thing, right? Like everything aside, let's discuss what facts are. Harry Maguire's a goal scorer. And
what? Harry Kane, mate.
Sorry,
Harry
what am I talking? Rotted.
Listen, get Maguire.
It's 11. Fam, I'm gassed. You beat me that. I'm joking. Harry Kane is a goal scorer, right? And let's even take it back to you, man. Have played football before. Even when you're playing like a young semi-pro and whatnot, a guy might come. He's not played football for 2 years. He tells you he's a striker at a decent level. Goal scorers are goal scorers. I expect Harry Kane to get goals. At the end of the day, I expect him to score. He knows where to find the net. In terms of how he's been this season, his injuries and whatnot over the last few years. No, but I'm saying the way he's picked injuries in the last few years, the way he seemed lethargic, and the way you guys have played with him has showcased that, you know what, he can't play in this way he wants to play. He has to play in a situation like we've mentioned before. He's literally in the box. You're getting crosses into him. Let him find the goal.
But he wasn't doing that today. That's what I'm saying. I feel like all of that talk of his decline and all this, that was premature.
No, but what I'm saying is, I still think that's optimal for him.
If you saw for the first goal, he dropped 40 yards deep to go and play a through ball to Son. Like, that was vintage Kane. Today,
no, I heard that, but I'm saying for the long term.
And things like that. Like, of course, when you've got how many hamstring injuries in a row, you're not going to be that explosive. And let's be real. Harry Kane was never known for his blistering pace, explosive movement. Harry Kane is a fox in the box. You put him in the box, that man gets you goals. So for me, I've always maintained, till like at least 30, this man is going to be bagging. But for some reason, there's been an agenda out against, and I'm not just saying it, just you, man. We've been seeing this everywhere. It's been getting stronger and stronger. And I'm just like, I don't know where it's going, but please, let's just calm down on it.
No, literally from that point I was saying, again, like for him to keep going, that running stuff and whatnot, like he needs to, like you said, the fox in the box thing that's his bread and butter. Like he's gonna get loads of goals from there.
See the
and
third goal?
That's what I said. But as you see,
that was quality. That's Kane though. That's Kane.
Yeah.
Kane will never lose that though.
Yeah. If you get
it's
service,
a lot more he'll lose.
No?
It's a lot more that he'll lose. Trust me, it's not that, but it's a lot more that
if
he'll
you
lose.
get service into him, a man's gonna score goals. But like,
that's the key
I think,
thing.
do you know what the issue with Harry Kane is? I think for some people, and again, I think people could ruin on it. I just think people probably don't like the way Harry Kane plays football. I'll be honest. I think people look at him and it's not appealing. It's not saucy. It doesn't look like appealing.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's probably why people
that's
have
your
reasons
bias that you need
goals
to control.
Goals are goals.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's a goal scorer. At the end of the day, he's a goal scorer.
My thing, the thing is with Kane, he is losing. I don't get what no one says. He's losing a bit of his legs. He's losing a bit of mobility. It's fact.
They were never strong points. That's my.
Wait.
Well, go on.
That second finish is Kane. That's Kane. That's why he plays for England. That's why he's better than Vardy. That's why you don't have Vardy in discussions with people like Kane. Yeah, I mean, sure, exactly. So that's why I always still have Kane as better than Oba. Like, look at that. Like, that's just when Harry Kane can do stuff like that. It's just yeah. But my thing is, there's other aspects. But then we've mentioned it. What I think could help him in terms of get people around him, and then he'll still score goals. That's what I said. I said that's the only way it's gonna exist, that Harry Kane is still gonna be able to do his thing. And fair play to him for scoring those goals. And he looked a bit sharper and he looked a bit fitter. But again, we talked about Eric Bailly earlier. That Harry Kane's ankles are made out of glass as well. So if he gets like another injury again or something, it's long. But hey, keep hyping him up because he's gonna be coming to United next summer anyway. So. He's going to be a United player next season.
I'm just giving you, man, a gentle reminder. The boy is still alive. The boy is
That's
still
good
there.
because he's going to be a United player next season.
No one said. I don't think anyone said.
No
one said he's died. No one said he's dead. But
that's to come. You
have to call it. You have to call it as you see it.
Because United fans are doing this with Poch. Yeah, they were trying to drag his name in the mud and say
so they can pick him up afterwards.
Yeah, you know them ones. And now it's like, bring Harry Kane down. So when he signs for us, it's like, hey, we're lit. We got the man. Best striker in England and the biggest club in England. No,
it's too funny,
man. The man now.
No, if you do not win a trophy next season, Harry Kane is coming to Manchester United, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I don't blame
Jose Ray, man. Them man are sick now.
Listen,
you guys are gonna get Europa, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna win the Europa. You might win the Europa with Jose.
As much as I want to fight it, I think Jose's now kind of got the squad playing in a way that we're gonna get Europa. But like, give credit where credit is due.
Why are you fighting it? Why are you fighting success? I don't understand this.
Qualifying for Europa is success.
Where were you, man? No, but you man don't win trophies. But you man don't win trophies. So what is success to you?
So don't tell me an entry to a tournament it doesn't guarantees I'm.
But what is success to you?
But don't tell me an entry to a trophy guarantees I'm going to.
I haven't said that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that.
You just said that. You just said entry to the Europa is success. It's not.
Yeah, because what is success?
I don't see that as success. For me, success is winning silverware.
Okay, so if you don't get into a tournament, how are you going to win silverware?
For me, it's about building. Are you gonna? Do you?
Can
I realistically don't think next season we'll win anything.
Sorry, I was just watching Maguire push matches in that dribble.
Bro, I retweeted that. That was too funny.
Yeah, I'm on your Twitter.
I felt bad for him, bro.
Hey, that is killing me, man.
Thinking,
what the this guy did?
Anyway, my bad, Fuad.
But now, for me, with the Europa League thing, it don't even matter. It looks like we're going to qualify for it at this point. And just like Jose said, it could be another trophy that we go into. It is what it is. But you got to give credit where it's due. Because since, Jose's coming, we're fourth in that magical table that they make up or whatever. I think he's won more than half the games. Like, we've kept 4 clean sheets since the restart, which is, I think, more than what we've had the entire season.
Probably.
So it's definitely been an improvement under Jose as to what he's come in. And the narrative, I don't feel like has been like that since Jose's come in. Whereas if you looked at Arteta and Arsenal, it seems like everybody's waxing lyrical about him. They're 10th in the table currently. We're 6th. We've got one over them. So it's like...
Is that what it's about?
No, I'm just saying, like, that I don't feel like the narrative lends to Jose. It always just seems like he's this villain who...
Reactionary fans.
And I get it. It might not be because he plays the prettiest football, but if you watch Arteta versus City yesterday, that was some ugly, gritty football you had to play. And that's what you got sometimes to get results. And I've said from day one, I give no shits about style. tiki-taka and all this pretty football don't impress me. I don't care about how many men I play a dribble past. Is there an end product? Is there a result at the end of this? That's all I care about. And at the minute, we're getting that. So for me, the issue I think we'll have going forward is against the smaller teams, I think, and depth, of course. Once you go into Europa League, you need that depth. But it gives an opportunity to the Oliver Skips and these Harvey Whites that Jose seems like he wants to break through. Give them a run out in that tournament, by all means. But do I realistically think we'll win it? It's a Jose kind of cup that he will kind of love to go for. So I wouldn't completely.
Bro, Jose will play his strongest team in the Europa League. Bro.
In the
he did it at Man United.
I think
not even in the latter stages. Some group stages games, bro. Jose will go for it, fam. That's just Jose. One thing. Listen, one thing I respect Jose for definitely is
he wants to win.
He respects cups.
Yeah,
Jose will never
FA Cup.
Jose doesn't play you. He will respect.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to next season. Is like how he's going to treat the FA Cup and the Carabao. I'll be real with you, because Poch treated them like they were
baby things.
In the way
arrogance
type of thing. Yeah. So for me, I don't want that. And maybe I'm like that towards the Europa, but I feel like that's because of the midweek Thursday fixture. I think it doesn't allow much of a rest to the Premier League.
But look, Wolves. Look at
one thing quickly on Spurs
of the season.
On Spurs, I feel like Spurs fans have been getting messages, obviously from United fans, from Chelsea fans, like, oh, this is what Jose is like, blah 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 blah, like giving our experiences, or when, for example, like me, if I see something in Dom, I'll be like, bro, this is what he did to Pogba, But I feel like the Spurs fans have been overdoing it themselves. I think the Spurs fans have, not you, Fuad, because you've kind of stayed but I think I'm seeing a lot of stuff on Twitter and stuff. I'm like, you guys ain't that outraged, fam. I think a lot of the fans that I see are overdoing it. They've come with the mentality that Jose has failed at another club or whatever, and they've already come with that negative mentality. So anything he does, they kind of like overdo it or whatever.
On him.
Me, I can do it because I'm a Man United fan and I can say this is what. But I feel like the Spurs fans is like, yo, relax. You're not a big club. He's coming. He's trying to do something. You guys are overdoing it a little bit, and I think it's very performative what some Spurs fans are doing right now.
Bro, 100%, and that's why I even did that reality check video kind of last week or the week. I was seeing more and more murmurs of that where Spurs fans are kind of screaming for this Jose out, and I'm like, hold on, did you forget beggars can't be choosers? Yeah. He's only been here 6 months, and since we were in crisis, like things have improved slowly. But because now the Derby result has come, we've got a couple of back-to-back wins, a couple of clean sheets. All of them people who were saying Jose out, I
can't lie, he down did a little bit. Selection was well.
And even like, the selection, like over the last couple of games, how he's stuck with the same consistent lineup, it's worked. Like some of these players I've been criticizing all season, more as the Winks, the Sissokos. But guess what? They've actually stepped up and performed. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Do you see what I'm saying? The same way you get onto man when they're playing dead, when they're playing well, they played out of their skin, 100%.
It's of course. But I just think it's too early.
No,
I think it's too early for the way
please let me finish.
Fans are moving.
Go.
No, 100%. And that's one other thing as well, in the sense it's too early. You see, like now, just because we've hit a bit of form towards a scrap end of the season where we've really not got much to play for.
You can't get too gassed about it.
I don't want Spurs getting too gassed thinking, we're straight back in top 4 contention next season.
Yeah.
We still need a big summer and a couple of additions.
Investment.
But for me, one thing Jose has done is where people are criticizing and saying, there isn't much to build on, he's shown there's positive signs. I can work with some of these scrubs that you're talking about. Back me in the right way that I need. And we know Jose needs to be back. That's one thing for every club has been kind of the proven product.
Do you know what I'll say about...
This is the thing. Sorry, mate. Yeah. This is the thing about the Premier League, right? 2 wins, your whole position can change. And why I've always
2 losses is the same thing.
Yeah, I always say 5 games. If you can go on a 5-game win streak, your whole plans has changed. And that's the thing. Spurs fans will see, I don't know, maybe you've won these 2 games, so some of them will get too excited. Or if you lose 2 games, you might be 10th, and some of them will be like, oh, Jose out. As I said, me and Mays, Chelsea and United fans, we can come out and be like, oh, I don't think Jose's going to work. I'll say it all the time. I don't think Jose and Spurs is going to work out. He's not going to win you the big trophies, in my opinion. So I don't really think it's going to work at Spurs. But the Spurs fans should be having a blank canvas. And I feel like they've completely kind of... How can you be screaming Jose out already? Like, definitely overdoing it.
My thing is, like Fuad said about his reality check, sometimes, right, context is important with everything. And that's why when we were talking when T Brown came on, I said you got to just look at a season in totality and say that, okay, if you say anything about Chelsea, it's just inconsistency and call it there, because at the end of the day, right, look at Spurs now. Spurs are in 6th, right? Yeah, Wolves got a game in hand, on you. If Spurs were to finish 6th after the season that's gone on, where you've had Liverpool that walked away with it, City that are City, Leicester that will fly in, Chelsea that were there, and United that went on an unbeaten
And
run.
Wolves and Sheffield, who are overachieving this season.
Yeah, finishing 6th is kind of like, you know what, we finished where we should be. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Based on where we were anyway. You get me? We were like 10th, 11th. We finished in 6th. Okay, cool. Like, you have to look at what the end mission is. The end mission for you guys was, we're in a bad way. Let's try and get European football. Right now, it looks like we're going to get that.
Bro, when Jose came in, he was 12th and won 12 points off. Chelsea.
And he said, I want to get European football. If he gets that, you know what? Call it a spade, 2020 season done. We've hit up this objective that we had mid-season. Let's try and build on here. Lampard, what was your objective? Get us Champions League. Try and win a trophy if you can. If you get that, all right, cool. Draw the line there. Ollie, what was your thing? Get us Champions League. Get the boys bubbling again. Try and restore the feeling. You've done that. You have to look at things in terms of the context of what you are. You're going to have peaks and troughs naturally, because all of our teams are not of the quality. Well, United are getting there, but are not of the quality of those top teams. Like, we can't start talking like we want to be there, like, because we're not there. That's the reality of it.
And you know what? I expect it more and more with Spurs fans because of the style of football we're playing. Like, we won that game against Leicester. Like, it was 3-0 for the majority of the game, but we had 30% possession and only had 7 shots to their 24. So, like, when Spurs fans are going to see a lot of these games, so strap in and be ready for these ball fests and these counter-attack and inshallah fest. I'm all ready for it, because if the results come along, I'm happy. And if they're not coming along, I kind of want to see what Jose tactically, I credit him. And I think he can make those kind of in-game tweaks if he's got the quality there available, I think.
The reason I'm glad you mentioned that is because that's how you laid your bed. That's how you laid your bed. You picked that manager. Flipping, we've spoken about that. We have to give praise to Arteta Ball schooling his once former big boss.
Yeah,
big funny tweet. There was a funny tweet I
talking
said
to himself in the dugout.
Listen, the tweet I saw.
Doing his acting again.
There's one tweet I saw, and I can't even repeat it because the tweet was mad. But Fuad, I told you about it, Cam. I messaged to you. That was probably one of the most funniest but disrespectful tweets I've ever seen. And realistically, that tweet could have been true. I can't lie. Like, Pep could have been going insane and seeing things. But anyway,
big up
Arteta.
Big up. We've really bigged up. Yeah, big up Arteta. We should have got an Arsenal fan on here for today's episode. But next time.
Yeah, big up the whole team's performance. David Luiz, Xhaka.
Xhaka. Let me touch on Xhaka, please.
Go on.
Xhaka. The fans tried to make him a scapegoat.
He told them to
listen. When we had that discussion, all of us, I think, were behind Xhaka. I don't remember. I think we backed Xhaka. Listen. Now Arsenal fans know their anger at Emery was being put to the captain. It's kind of one of them ones. You always look at the captain. You know what I mean? Their anger at Emery was being put on to Xhaka, because Xhaka was bad during its season. He has improved under Arteta, but he was definitely not the reason why Arsenal were going through what they're going through. So big up him for his mental, because people are going to talk about David Luiz's mentality and David Luiz is, first of all, quite old. He's a winner. He's won things. So his mentality is obviously good. And he was just making howler after howler after howler. Like, I don't need to bring up his mentality. Whereas Xhaka got booed by his own fans, got stripped off captaincy, had to come back in. Remember, he was like, I'm off. I'm getting sold in January. Had to come back in, cement himself. And again, he looks back to being one of his leaders. We should give him back his armband, mate, because he's been quality. Yesterday's performance, I was like, bro, he completed 100% passing.
Yeah,
and not all of them were sideways.
I was going to say, I want to see the direction of them.
Quality. For me, big him up. And do you know who else to big up as well? Martinez.
Yep.
That goalkeeper looks better than De Gea and Kepa, mate. And big him up, man. He's been waiting 10 years for this. Big him up. One thing I like about Arteta, which we mentioned before, is I love how he's gone in there. And it's kind of like, all right, what's Arsenal's weakness? We're soft heart, we're soft underbelly. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna make these guys tough. And everyone there looks like they're ready to fight. I'm seeing Maitland-Niles throwing his body on the line.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm seeing
Yeah.
Bellerin for. I'm like, yeah, something's different over here in terms of resilience. I'm seeing Ceballos screening the back four. I'm like, yeah, something. Them men are getting well drilled, and he's obviously focusing a lot on their mentality and what they're about. And listen, as I said before, he's made it clear. Gondozi, you wanted to mess about, see you later. Anyone else, you can go. And I like that about it.
You know, I'll chip in on what we missed as well. I like the way the Lacazette sort of situation was being handled. It was like, you know what, you're not giving me what I want. I'm bringing the young buck in. Have a few games to really think about what you can bring to this team and whatnot.
Turning up.
Lacazette comes in, starts turning up. He starts playing in a role that suits him. I'm not going to call it the Firmino role, but he's doing well at what he's doing. It's not the Firmino role, though. It's not like, because I saw Liverpool fans trying to big up. I was like, what? So he said it's the Firmino role, yeah? But like, he's adding value to the team. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, you're taking out, come back and prove yourself. Aubameyang as well, credit where credit is due, because
that's the guy I want to big up the most. Because
at the end of the day, one of the biggest moments, even though he carried them to that moment, one of the biggest moments this season was when he missed his chance in Europa. Semi-final against City. He gets a brace. Like at the end of the day, moments matter, and two good cultured finishes as well. We have respect where respect is due. What I liked about the first finish was, for me, it kind of highlighted he's one of them players where he doesn't like thinking about the finish. Instinctive finishes, sick. If he has to think about it,
it rattles him. Yeah,
the pass from Luiz was he broke like 3-4 lines. That's David Luiz's bread and butter. Aubameyang turns. He's thinking, what, do I dink it?
Aubameyang shot as if he's taking a free kick, bro.
Bro, he shot like he was at goals.
That's what I'm saying, fam.
And I think too often, though, we've seen him, we've even said that in the big games, he doesn't turn up. Against top 6 opposition, he struggled. In the Europa League final, he struggled. Against Tottenham last year, when he could have got them top 4, he missed that penalty. It's
and
like,
he knows this.
There was, and 100%, he tweeted about it.
Me that he knows
for him to
rise it like he did.
And the thing is, it's so criminal of City. No one is even going to analyse the ridiculously high line they're playing with a suspect defence that they already have. But the worst thing you could do is give Aubameyang that much space to run into, because you're playing into his strengths. See you later. He had about 30 yards to run into and a clean finish. So credit where credit.
Sorry, we forgot. We've got Tierney as well. That's another one.
Bro,
every week I just think,
Tierney, man. I think why did Man United sign this?
Because you know.
I mean,
the reason why I respect him is always like
he's going to be their captain. He's a boss.
Yeah,
100%.
He just cares about the football. He doesn't care about the glitz and glamour. Man comes to games with the Tesco bag. Like, he doesn't care about this sort of.
He said he still hasn't seen any part of London yet. He goes, all I know is the training ground.
Yeah. Because that's where it is, bro. That's where it is. Like, he just keeps it.
You know, in Scotland,
they rate him more than Robertson, bro. They rate him more than Robertson. It's a conversation people don't want to have because it's uncomfortable. And Robertson's a Champions League winner. But if you speak to them man there, they'll tell you who the real world boss is for them. Tierney is Scott Brown, and then Tierney, that's how it goes.
Let's chat about Kevin De Bruyne. Why are we not talking about him now?
You usually lead this conversation.
What do you want to chat about, man?
Like, what we'll say is to kind of get you into it, because we're gonna have to get into it, because we've been at it for time. You've had your questions. You've been here with Kevin De Bruyne for a long time, and yesterday's performance was an interesting performance, to say, in terms of he was asked to do a job for Manchester City. He was asked to play in a slightly deeper position. If you
seen him buckling on the ball and that.
If you look at his performance in the whole, where he was supposed to play and what he was supposed to do and what actually happened, you could say was
did not happen.
Potentially different.
He completely abandoned what his job was meant to do and went to his own comfort.
He then got 8.6 rating.
Why?
Bro,
why would you want to give a Tiger?
Listen,
spots?
Let me tell you what happened there.
Let a Tiger have a strike.
But talk to me.
Pep finally was like, yo, KDB, I need you to be a centre midfielder today. Like what people say you are. KDB was getting the ball from deep, tripping on the ball, getting clamped at his feet. Lacazette was giving him little nudges. Could not do it, bro. He could not play centre midfield next to Gundogan. He was struggling. So he went back to his original role of being a right mid. Stop calling KDB a centre mid. He's a right mid. Mahrez was in the box waiting for headers from KDB. How does that work if Mahrez is the right winger?
You're so shameless, bro.
Listen, KDB crossed the ball 15 times yesterday. Sterling crossed it 6 times, and Mahrez crossed it 7 times. KDB crossed it the same combined, Mahrez and Sterling. David Silva crossed it 0 times because he's trying to play the beautiful game. He's trying to play the beautiful game, whereas KDB, listen, let me tell you something. Mandem was saying, yeah, no one can tell me City played the same good football that they played last season, right? And I mentioned this time ago. KDB is going to get all the accolades. He's going to get, oh, yeah, he's going to break Henry's assist record. Yeah, but why wouldn't you break Henry's assist record when you crossed the ball 283 times this season in the league?
But
you crossed the ball.
But if you
let me finish. You crossed the ball 200. You've crossed the ball 283 times this season. The nearest to you are two fullbacks. Last season, Digne and Trent. Last season, when City were playing glorious, beautiful football to go and win 14 in a row, to go and win the league, right? Don't forget they won the league. KDB was absent, first of all, and their top crossers were number 37 in the Premier League on the list with 98, and that was Gundogan, and that was Sane, 98 crosses. KDB, when City are playing horrible football, he's back. Their football is so rank. He's crossed the ball 283 times, and he's a centre midfielder. And this is not including set pieces. This isn't including corners. Come on, lads. We're ignoring. You can be a great player. You can be a fantastic player, but sometimes you could harm your team as well. And this season, City are playing just through KDB. Their football has declined. This is the ugliest I've ever seen Pep's football, and KDB's at the centre of it. That's what I'm going to say.
One thing I noticed in
the KDB defense step forward?
Go on.
You play defense.
No one has said KDB's not a good player before anyone tries it.
No. He just wants to do KDB defense. Go on.
The only thing I don't get is we're almost abusing him for crossing the ball too much. And for me, thing at it. Wait. You had your turn. Your turn.
Your Honor.
So.
Oh yeah, let me. Go on. You go.
So for me, it's a case of he's still creating chances for his team. That what you
call creative.
KDB is an attacking midfielder. That's how I look at him.
Nah, it's David Beckham.
His job in the team is to create. Hey, it's my turn. Remember, it's my turn. That's what you say. Yeah, it's my turn. You said it's my turn. It's my turn. So he's still creating the most chances for his team, and the fact that he's shown is the fact that he's so close to breaking Henry's record. Whether he whips it 100 times, that's Pep's problem. That's the problem. You got to look at Pep and say, "Hey, why did you?
Why have you told him to do this?
To say, hey, you're going to be.
Why have you told him to do this?
So now that is not a KDB issue. That's a Pep issue. KDB is doing his job. That's all I'm saying.
Third, I'd like to elaborate on that because
and the only one other thing I would add is who is the biggest benefactor of all these beautiful KDB crosses? That last week was being heralded as England's best player. He's better than Harry Kane.
How many assists has KDB given to Sterling?
He had enough chances in that game to put away 2 games. But people want to ignore that. People want to ignore that. Raheem Sterling had a hat-trick.
So, let me just chime in on that thing about the Pep thing. Like the reason why I hear that is because I don't see a situation where Pep Guardiola is this sort of master by the football. Right? He's in control of everything. Like
the brain.
If KDB is crossing this many times, for me, there has to be an instruction. There has to be. And I'll tell you why. And the thing is, I'll tell you why. One, he probably thought he found a hack. And 2, that game yesterday, I watched KDB because I was like, you know what? I know Cam is going to say something. Anytime KDB tried to go through the middle, it wasn't going through. The way Arsenal played was like kind of like, you know what? We're going to make them go wide. So KDB, when he tried, how many times did he try through ball and the ball just bubbling, losing possession? He's like, you know what? Cool. I'm gonna do my crosses. I think they've looked at it and they said, you know what, this is our most effective way of playing. And if Cam is saying that, you know what, that's a slight on him because as a creative player and those guys that play that position should be doing more, I can hear it. But all I'm gonna say is, for me, if a man is playing that way, it is clear for me that he's playing that way because the manager has instructed it. Same way.
So what are you adding right now? What are you adding with this Kevin De Bruyne thing? What are you adding?
The only thing
I'm saying
right
that
now,
it's under. I'm saying it's under Pep. Go on.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is you are adding a keyword, context. So all of a sudden context exists, right? Now context exists. So Kevin De Bruyne needs support. He needs more help.
Man.
Hold on.
Who said that?
Kevin De Bruyne. They said Kevin De Bruyne needs more help. They said that City need to do a rebuild. Or they're saying how's he meant to create if he can't go through the middle? Where was all this consistent? Where was these comments when Pogba was playing side by side in the DM role?
Always about Pogba.
We got to it.
I remember.
No, it's not only about Pogba. Where is he?
Okay, here are the other examples.
Wait. Where is it when Pogba's having to play next to Herrera? When Pogba's having to play DM next to Fellaini in a Jose Mourinho system? Where's all this context, please? All of a sudden, there's no context because when Pogba was finishing the top creator and stuff, it was an issue. People were saying he's not doing much. No consistency. Anyway, so we'll move on. Another player, Salah. Salah. What do people say? People say, "Oh, yeah, Salah scores, but he kills their play." And
Yeah.
So basically, you're looking at one of the best players, and it shows that one of your best players, despite getting stats, you can still see that he could be a fault to what you're doing. Same thing with KDB. Why are people? They'll point it at Salah. They'll point at Pogba. But when it comes to KDB, oh, you can't mention him because he's the best in the league. He's the best in the league.
There's
Nah,
no
mate. Listen, if Pep, listen.
It's a Pep issue.
Man's pointing at the screen.
If Pep trusted him as a centre midfielder, he would have played him centre mid at the Bernabeu. Where did Pep play KDB?
You know where he played him?
False nine, away from the
job
midfield.
he did.
No, but
the job he did.
No, it's not about that. It's not about that.
What's football
Let
about?
me finish. No. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. If he trusted him as the centre midfielder that you guys say are best centre midfielder, and remember, and I'm being consistent.
Nobody puts the word centre mid in there.
Wait, now don't try it. Don't try
it in there.
Don't try it. Because I'm being consistent because people kill Steven Gerrard about Gerrard had to play on the right. He couldn't play as a centre mid. He needed to have Alonso and he needed to have Hamann and he needs Mascherano. People be killing Steven Gerrard about that. Oh, he had to play behind Torres. Oh, but KDB in the big games, he's being put false nine. He's being put out wide. He's being put. Let's just have some consistency. Don't be comparing KDB with Paul Scholes and them real CMs. Compare him with Ljungberg.
Hey, hold on. When Paul Scholes playing false nine next to Ruud van Nistelrooy? When he playing left mid for England?
But have you seen?
When he playing left mid for England?
Paul Scholes is the greatest controller in Premier League history, mate. Don't let that go over your head.
Good players can do multiple things. They can create. That's what KDB
does.
And I also know, if any man play football, any man watching this, tell me what's the easier pass to play: a normal 5-yard pass on a through ball or a cross? You tell me how.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
the technique you gotta have on crosses, Stop promoting youngsters. Stop telling youngsters to kill the beautiful game.
You can cross a ball to a Pence. You got technique.
Don't listen to any young boys that are watching this. Appreciate the beautiful game, please. Don't be doing crosses, please.
I think again,
if you're a centre mid, please don't be crossing it more than your full back.
Work on technique, lad.
Listen,
please.
All I can say in this situation is, again, with the whole season, and I said it last week about the losses, you have to look deeper at Pep Guardiola. That's my opinion.
We're gonna have to get into that next week. We'll go.
No. I'm not saying today.
Okay, cracking.
But I'm going to leave it there. Like with everything, you have to look deeper into Pep Guardiola. That's the way I see it. Because, again, if you've got this marvellous player that has all the technical ability in the world and he's reduced to loads of crosses, you have to look at the instructions he's getting. If you have this team that even with people missing, like Cam said, which is interesting, the centre-back looks like the most threatening player and the most
the most entertaining player.
You have to look at the manager.
He plays football more, and Edison, they play football better way than KDB.
Edison needs to learn to take free kicks, bro. If he could take free kicks, he'll be like that Shillavert. Senny and them, man.
He's
got a right leg on him, man.
What's up?
There's a few shout-outs that need to be made, or a few comments that need to be made before we're probably going to wrap it up.
Go on.
And this is not related to the team. Shout-out Danny Ings. He needs to be in the team of the year. He needs to be in the team of the year as a striker.
Daniel Levy.
Yeah, trust me. We need him as a backup striker.
Bro, starting next to Kane.
I mean, not for Man United. Not for Man United, but yeah. Shout out Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Big him up. Shout out Real Madrid for winning the league.
Hey.
Shout out Benzema, please.
Yeah, come on.
Because
Shout out
We'll
Sergio
get into that.
Ramos.
We'll get into
boy,
that.
we don't even have
Shout
a lot
out-
of time,
yeah,
but boy,
shout
man,
out
them
Real
need to know.
Madrid. Yeah, shout out Real Madrid.
Shout out Leeds.
Watford, I don't know what you guys have planned, but you guys better survive because you are moving mad by sacking Nigel Pearson.
Real man.
That's pissed me off, but whatever.
Yeah.
Daniel Farke, the manager of Norwich, he should be ashamed this season.
Fuck off.
He should be ashamed of himself this season. And what else is there? What was that? There was one more other thing. Oh yeah, obviously big up Leeds as well.
For me,
Brentford. There's loads of things that's happening.
For me,
I
wanted to shout out West Ham as an institution, but I wanted to shout out Declan Rice. I wanted to shout out Mikel Antonio. And I wanted to shout out Souček.
Big up Souček.
Because remember, I called it first. I called him Fellaini from time ago. Now everyone see like this guy is Moises' new Fellaini. Like he does everything. He does everything that Moises has been waiting for. Like,
bro, I need Souček at United. You know, I need that kind of battling ram, fam. Hey, you know, man, them know I love Fellaini, fam. I love Fellaini. I love Fellaini.
You lot will start abusing him, saying, "Hey, what's this guy coming on?
This guy plays like McTominay.
They're bringing Bruno off for Souček."
Bro, when Fellaini used to play number 10 and we used to pump it to him, beautiful football.
It was one of your best tactics, I'm telling you.
Bro, that was the best route. That was the best.
Pumping it to Fellaini is calm, yeah, but when it's KDB crosses now, it's
Bro, KDB is trying to cross it to a 5'7" Gabriel Jesus. Please give him service. Stop crossing it, fam. Open up the defense, bro. You know what I mean? But
nah, bro, he does low crosses.
There's one more thing that I wanted to shout. There was one more thing that I wanted to shout. Nah, forget Liverpool, man.
You gave him enough abuse this week.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just Brentford bottling it. I couldn't believe they did that. But anyway, yeah, no, that's about it. Probably that's about it.
For real, Fuad, you got any shout outs? Mine was just the West Ham thing.
Nah, man.
For
no
me,
shout outs from me, man.
Fuad don't even do shout outs, bro. This guy just cares about himself, bro.
I'm
Him
just
and Spurs,
bro. I'm anti. That's it.
But listen, that's another episode. That's probably our longest episode ever, bro. I didn't even keep track of time.
Enjoy that shit, niggas.
Take it in. The fact that we've given this to you, make sure you go and give it to your friends. Share the gift of life. Listen, Norwich are disgraceful. The fact that they still try to play that football.
Bro, Daniel Farke.
Where do Norwich rank?
Hey, just remember, they're playing Man City last day of the season.
Yeah, them man again.
KDB's going to break that assist record. KDB's breaking that assist record.
He's also going to break the individual cross record as well.
Yeah. Just another record to add to the list.
Yeah. Listen, as I said, it's a robbery. It's a big robbery of the beautiful game that KDB is going to break Henry's record. Henry, the beautiful football player like Henry. It's such a shame.
Listen,
it's such a shame.
A man saying this year, and then when pictures of Benzema and Henry come, he goes, Henry's based on physical progress.
I hate this. Yeah, but that's the truth, though.
When you get to 32, you lose your
agendas, I can't keep up.
Just does this,
it's the truth, though. Henry, obviously, as he got older, he lost his athleticism. Henry was based a lot on athleticism, and that once you lose that, you're struggling, mate.
Random, very quick one because I saw it floating about. In terms of Ballon d'Or, a lot of men are saying Lewandowski. A lot of men are saying that Benzema carried them, man. Who would you say are kind of obviously Lewandowski's a front runner, but who else would you say is in and around that conversation?
I don't think
individual performances.
Yeah,
it's then probably Lewandowski, but we'll see in Champions League. But then Messi as well, bro. Let's not see Messi's got 25 league goals. He just broke it
for the seventh.
Petit, and he's broke the assist record. Yeah. So all of this stuff about KDB should be in the Ballon d'Or conversation.
No. They still need Champions League for that. They still need Champions League for that. City. If KDB is going to be...
City could have...
Champions League will still have a bit
Some people are saying Mane, but I'm not having that. It's Lewandowski.
How about the Benzema shot that's been popping up now?
He's been clutch. He's been really good this season, but I think it's more about like we're impressed that he's carrying than he's been that good. That should be the Ballon d'Or.
I agree with that.
But Champions League, if he goes and knocks out City and
rotted. Listen, if City
Ramos,
Champions League
header.
That man would have gone from the treble.
He's suspended, isn't it?
That man would have gone from a treble to just the League Cup. Listen, not this week, but we're gonna have an inquest on Mr. Guardiola still. But listen, that's another episode. Man, take it easy. Remember, subscribe, like, share with your
Hey.
friends, support the man them, put it out there, share with
it, man.
people that even are watching it. They might not even know that it's out. Listen, we're
Bro,
out,
that's
man.
the only way this thing grows, bro.
Listen, this is
if
what it
you
is, man.
lot
Listen,
share
we're
it.
not making peas of this, bro.
The
Man, I'm not
facts,
talking
facts.
a bit past midnight for your entertainment, bro. Like,
Real.
obviously, you support the thing in it.
So help us grow, bro.
Real talk. You, man, in a bit.
Bless, man.
No, love.
Easy.